The 743rd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMASGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Howdy ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 744 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Irish Dave. So he gets all mad at me. Irish Dave, who he did a makeshift Hungry Man Jong round robin and hit it. I think is what happened. Right?
Hungry Man Jong parlay. It was still parlay.
Oh, it was a parlay. Right.
Yeah. But when mine fell apart, he pieced his own together and went 30-1 on it. So shout out to Irish Dave.
I am not Irish Dave. I am the Canadian capitalist, Jeff Fox. And the guy you just heard talking was one and only Daniel Gumby. And we are here to cover Cage Titans 69. Nice. We're only covering it because of that. It's not the net. We have covered it once before. They're kind of, I want to say they're in your neck of the woods, but not really, right? They're way across the state from you. But
it's a little bit of a haul for me to get there. But it is, and this is an honest endorsement because, I don't just kiss the butt of all the promotions we cover.
Listen to yesterday's episode.
Yeah, listen to yesterday's episode of PFL. Genuinely, if you are into watching regional fights, and first of all, you should be because you watch the show and stuff. If you are looking for a place to watch live fights, there's no place better than the Plymouth Memorial Hall. It is such a good spot for like a regional MMA card. They do it in this it's like an old town hall, but like the seats basically go straight up. So it feels like everybody is in the cage with the fighters. It is a very cool place.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it. Looks cool. I think you've sent me pictures from there as well. Right?
Yeah, I've been there. It has been,
or your wife did or someone did.
Every single time I've gone and watched fights there, it has been a treat. A lot of UFC fighters come out of Cage Titans too. So it's not like you're seeing slouches. We're going to talk about a former UFC fighter tonight.
Yeah, I did say his wife, Gumby's romantic and takes his wife to regional MMA events, even on their anniversary. One week, right? So yeah, this is Cage Titans 69. So I was going to ask you, tell people a bit about it, but you already did. Fairly high level regional MMA, and it is a fun watch if you're in the Plymouth, Mass area. It's going down Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It is, how do you watch this here thing?
Spectation Sports is like a platform that does like a bunch of like smaller MMA promotions and streaming. The good news is the streaming is really reliable. And it's like just like a small fee for just you can get like single events. You don't have to like subscribe or anything like that. So
Gumby will get you your money back. Don't worry. Cage Titans odds drop. What are we talking? Are we talking offshore? Where do you usually get odds for?
So there's an onshore that doesn't sponsor the show. It's very onshore. If you're a Boston person, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's very onshore, but they typically don't drop odds until like Friday night. Offshores, you might get lucky and get them a little bit earlier than that, but there are onshore ones that do offer them and usually seem to have some sort of partnership with Cage Titans. So you can check out Cage Titans Instagram. They'll usually be mentioning it right around fight time.
You know how to get a hold of Gumby and myself also.
Hit me up.
We're not sponsoring it though in any way. All right. So Cage Titans, we got 16 MMA bouts, including amateurs, and then 3 amateur Muay Thai bouts. Gumby has agreed to do all 19 for you people. People on YouTube insist. I
do know a lot about one of the 0-0 fights, 0-0 amateur fights happening. So you'll hear about that in the lightning round.
So people will get at least one complaint in YouTube. Why didn't you list all the winners for all 19 bouts? But anyhow, we're gonna take you virtually to the Plymouth Memorial Hall after I remind you to get our app if you haven't already. Go to the App Store, type in SGPN, and get the SGPN app for easy, instant access to all of our free picks and podcasts, and of course our articles that Gumby and I and everyone else pumps out daily on Sports Gambling Podcast. All right, Cage Titans 69 is, we told you where it's going down, Plymouth, Massachusetts. I still don't like saying it. Plymouth, Mass. Plymouth Memorial Hall. And we are Gumby's pick the 5 fights he's most interested in, and we'll break those down. And then, as he promised, as he let you know, we got a lightning round at the end where we do bonus picks. So don't you go away until the very, very end, or you may miss out on winning some money. All right, first bout is 170 pounds, 3 5-minute rounds. Kenyon Moore, Trevor Gudde. Good.
I think it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Good. It is good. My third guess. They're both American. And play about good first. Scarecrow is the nickname. 4-5, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. So he's finished every one. And he himself has been finished in every fight as well that he's lost. 4 times knocked out, 1 time submitted. He owes his rounds. Damn it. 3-3 in Cage Titans. He has lost 3 straight. He's gone 2-4 over his last 6. All of his past 2 wins have come via submission. All of his past 4 losses have come via TKO. So it's kill or be killed, basically. He's not won a fight since June of 2022. 1-1 in Bellator. 1-0.
Yeah, do you know who he beat in Bellator?
I probably did at one point.
Royce Gracie's son.
Oh, Hoyler, was it?
Horian?
Yeah. Wow, good job.
No, it was Cronny Gracie.
Right, okay.
Cronny Gracie. That's what
anyhow. 7 inches taller than Moore, so he is a scarecrow. Troy is Moore's nickname, naturally. 1-1. He's never. That's good. Yeah, your nickname just be a different name. That's fantastic. Unless there's some like Troy Moore thing I'm missing out on here. I don't think there is. He is 1-1. He's never been finished, and he's never finished anyone. This is his debut. He also has some finishes. Cage Titans debut, 1 his last fight, 0-1 is pro grappler, 3 years younger than Good. How could you possibly know anything about either of these guys, Gumby?
Well, I watched Trevor Good knock out Cronny Gracie.
That's true. He was in Bellator.
Cronny Gracie went to go shoot a really sloppy takedown. And Trevor Good, by the way, is freakishly tall.
Yeah, he's a scarecrow.
Yeah, and I've also watched plenty of Trevor Good.
He's 6 feet, I think. He's 6'7", 6'7" welterweight, right?
Yeah, and I've seen plenty of his fights too, because a guy we're going to talk about later, Jack Congdon, knocked him out with a shot to the solar plexus in their fight. So like I've seen him fight plenty of times. Look, he's what you expect from a 4-5 welterweight who's 6'7". He's a little bit stiff on his feet. His jiu-jitsu game is really good, right? Like that's a given based on what we've seen. Whether it's trying to snatch up your neck. He actually, for a guy who's that long, right? Like usually when we get jiu-jitsu guys who are 6'7" at 170 pounds, we're usually like, oh, they throw up a nice triangle, or oh, they grab a good choke. But he actually just has like good jiu-jitsu all around. Like his pressure is pretty good, his passing is pretty good, his top control is pretty good. And I think enough of that is good enough to beat Moore here. And like from what I watched of Moore, right? Like what's gonna beat Trevor Good? Pressure, letting your hands go, believing that you can knock him out. And like, if you watch Kenyon Moore's, was it his loss in his last AMI fight or his first pro fight, whichever it was, he fought a guy who was slightly taller and very obviously better at striking. And he was just like sort of afraid to close the distance because he kept getting hit with like a jab on the outside. So if like Trevor Good just throws like a casual jab every single time Moore gets close enough to him to eat a jab, he's going to get frustrated, rush in and get subbed. That's my guess. So I'm going to go with Trevor Good here. If I had to guess odds, my guess is these will probably be pretty close. I'm going to say Good is a favorite because he's got the more fights, but like hasn't gotten great results, has fought higher level cup. We'll say like -145 on Trevor Good. The book I mentioned before, which I didn't give to you by name, the one that posts it really late, they seem reluctant to post big favorites with like big dog money on the other side. I don't know if they're just like afraid of getting like rung by like a big dog play.
By us people?
Yeah, exactly. And so then like that might even keep the line a little closer. So I'll take Trevor Good here, slight fave.
All right, there you go. A slight fave for the Scarecrow. All right, let's move on to a female fight next. And it is at atomweight. Come on, UFC. Atomweight. Natalie Schlesinger versus Hilarie Rose, both from the United States. Rose is 8-7, 3 knockouts, 3 submissions. She's been knocked out twice, submitted 3 times. 2-1 in Cage Titans. She's won 2 straight. Before that, she lost 3 straight, and she's 3-5 over her last 8. 0-1 in Invicta, 0-1 in Contender Series, 1-1 in LFA. Used to fight at strawweight and flyweight. 1-0 in kickboxing, an inch of height, 4 inches reach over Schlesinger. Who did she lose to in Contender Series, Gumby? Do you know that answer?
I almost said Vlismas, but it isn't.
Yes,
Vlismas.
correct.
Is it Vlismas?
Vlismas, yes.
Hell yeah.
I think she was biased at the time, but yes, you're correct. Schlesinger, Natty Ice obviously is the nickname. 3-2 with 1 submission. Never been finished in a fight. This is her debut in Cage Titans. Win, loss, win, loss, win is her career pattern. Has never won or lost 2 in a row. Did win or lost via submission. Used to fight at 115. 6 years younger than Rose.
Hot take. She has won 2 in a row. I think she's won
really?
3 in a. I think she's won 3 in a row. That loss in Kambache, I really think she won that fight. It was one of those fights where like she had tons of control time, grinded up against the cage, threw like those knees to the legs, and her opponent landed a couple more punches. And for some reason, like her opponent was bloody at the end, and like she had all of the control time. Like, shouldn't that have, like I thought she should have won a decision, and in that case, she'd be on a 3-fight winning streak, and we'd be talking about her a lot differently. The good news for me though is I think that, you know, as I just kind of mentioned with Good and more, like I kind of expect the person who has a Contender Series fight and fought for Invicta and has so many more fights, and they're both about even, right? Like they're both 1 fight above even. I think that tends to, like, the odds tend to favor somebody like Rose, and so I'm going to play a Schlesinger here no matter what. I'm a big fan of the way that, you know, like she just got, like I said, she's got a grinder style. She puts you up against the cage. She wears you down. Great head position. That's one of the things I like remarked on with notes when I was watching Schlesinger fight is like, it's not just, you know, good takedown. It's not just holding people against the cage. It's not just being strong. She's got good head position. She does a really good job of handcuffing people and stuff like that. So like, I like all of that of Schlesinger. And really, like, if you watch Hilarie Rose, a lot of the issues she's had in her fights is fighting that type of person, is fighting somebody who can grind on her and not let her hands go. And to be fair to, while I do like, you know, like some of Hilarie Rose's fights, like most of them are, it's just volume punching. So like, I can't imagine she does enough damage to Schlesinger to win this one. So give me Natalie Schlesinger here. Hopefully dog money.
All right. Perfect. Before we move on, playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs. Oh no, I dropped my ad read phone. I should have it memorized, but I don't. And you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. But obviously, it's not just MMA. They got not just NFL. They have MMA. So get in there, check out the lines. And if you're a new DraftKings customer, you can bet $5, and then you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. Let's go to SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gumby, tell the people more info.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Thank you, Dan. Super professional as per usual. All right, let's move up the card to a welterweight fight. Ali Zebian, Jack Congdon, the aforementioned 3 5-minute rounds if they need it. Tell you about Congdon first. 5-1, 3 knockouts, 2 submissions, and he's been submitted once, so he's never gone the distance. He owes his rounds. All those fights have taken place in Cage Titans. Won his last fight via submission. He's 4 years younger than Zebian, 8 inches taller, 7 inches of height on him, which is insane.
He's a big dude.
Yeah. VIP Zebian. So that makes a difference. He is a VIP. 10-5 with 4 knockouts. He's been submitted once. 1-0 in Cage Titans. 1-3 over his last 4. Got DQ'd in his last fight. 1-1 in Bellator. 1-0 in PFL. 0-1 in LFA. So he's fought all over. Regional champ. Used to fight at 145 and 155. He missed weight before at 145. But now he's at 170. So maybe you can see why. He missed weight. 25 pounds lighter than this. All right. Take it away.
I'm going to Congdon. I think he's probably going to be close to a 2-1 favorite. Let's say like -185. You know, bottom line here is this is like a fight for them to test and see whether or not he can rebound from the loss he had. Now, granted, he did win submission his last fight, but it was a lower level of competition. This is bringing him back up to the level of competition he sort of belongs to. His only loss was to Jonathan Piersma, who's like main evented LFAs and like, you know, fought for a road to the UFC and like, you know, now is the Cage Titan champion, and it wasn't a title fight. So like That's Congdon's only loss. Apart from that, he's pieced people up on the feet. He submitted him with triangles. Like, he looks like the real deal in every sense of the word. And I love how much bigger he is than Zebian here, because like Zebian's style is he wants to wrestle you. And while he wrestles pretty well, I don't really trust his jiu-jitsu. Like, if you watch him in that fight with Jacob Bond, who's like kind of a journeyman, no, if that, I don't mean that term derogatorily, but it's like a journeyman. Like, he took him down once and Bond just threw in the butterfly hooks and just flipped him right over until he was in top control. He went to go get a late takedown as he tired, and Bond just snatched up a guillotine and like actually tapped him out. So like Zebian's taking some kind of bad losses in that way. And like, I mean, like, that just feels right for Congdon to be the type of person to put him away, because Congdon, much better striker. Zebian kind of keeps his hands low too, which I think also really favors the way that Congdon strikes, because he comes forward and man, when he hits you once, like when he hit Trevor Gudde with that shot to the solar plexus that I mentioned before, and then he piled the strikes on afterwards, like, this is a dude you don't want to get hit by more than once. I'm also going to give a quick disclaimer here, because I don't want to sound like a hometowner. Jack Congdon is an old training partner of mine, so that like is another reason I'm a big fan here. But also just like stylistically, if he comes in here on south of 200, I think you got to be on Jack Congdon.
Has he ever hit you in the solar plexus, Gumby?
No, I don't do the boxy stuff. I don't like getting punched and stuff. But I would not take a punch from that dude. That dude is a chiseled bastard, and he's so freaking strong. Like, this is a guy who, when you're in his guard, like, you feel like you're in danger. And like, that was without punches happening. So yeah, I big fan of Jack Congdon, the person and the fighter.
You probably have like 30 pounds on him too, right?
No, not in walk around weight.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah,
that's
like
right. You're not cutting.
He's every bit 200 pounds, man. When he's walking around, he's got to be. And now, so he doesn't train with me anymore, which is probably good for his professional MMA career. He trains out with Connor Matthews in Mom's Basement, which is in Lakeville, and then also they cross train with Joe Lozon's gym. So cool. Like lots of high level competition there for Congdon.
And what were you saying? Anything south of what did you say again?
Anything south of 200, I think, is a steal.
Yeah, okay, that's what I had.
But like Zebian's got the record that should keep it there.
He's a VIP as well, so he's
a VIP.
That. All right, next bout is for the OG title. What is that a legit title, Gumby?
It is. So a few years ago, Michael Pulver, who is the guy who runs Cage Titans, again, I told you this is one of the most fun places to watch a fight card. He's also like the most fun promoter in the whole world.
Even funner than Dana? Dana's so much fun.
He like walks around getting the stadium ready beforehand. Like, he doesn't have tons of people who do it for him. He like helps out, and he does it in like basketball shorts and a polo shirt. And then he like changes come fight time, which I really love. It's like a nice insight into him. But also, so a few years ago, he decided there was this old guy who wanted to fight this Greg Jones guy. And he decided, like, there's like a need for like basically an old man division of people who want to fight when they're a little bit over the hill professionally. And so he created this OG division that has kind of like a nebulous weight. Sometimes it's 45, sometimes it's 60. This time it's 150. And just basically letting guys who are in their 40s throw down with something at stake. Yep.
That's what this is. We've got the OG title on the main card. Greg Jones, 2-0. Versus Kenny Champion, 3-3, 150 pounds. And this is 5 5-minute rounds. Is this not the grappling Greg Jones, or that's a Craig Jones?
That's Craig Jones. Very different person.
Very different guy.
I don't think we're gonna get Craig Jones in the Plymouth Memorial Hall. I was wondering. It would be sweet if he did, but no, I don't think he's going there.
Yeah. All right. Champion, Kenny Champion, Rise of the Phoenix. All one word. 3-3 with 3 knockouts. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice, so he owes his rounds. Damn it, that's what that means. He is 1-0 in Cage Titans, 1-3 over his last 4. Got 1 via TKO in his last fight. He's not lost since September 2022. 0-1 in Bellator, 0-1 in pro grappling. Jones is 2-0, 2 submissions. Both the fights in Cage Titans, and he is the current OG champ. 0-1 as a pro grappler, and that's all the info I have for them. I'm not sure the ages and stuff. It's hard to get info on.
Kenny Champion's 44.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But how old Jones? You know?
I want to say just that much, or maybe a touch older.
Actually, I saw champion 45. So yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
not
think he's
much
a
of
touch older. Yeah,
okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, they're not young. I'm gonna say that Greg Jones comes in here as a favorite. The 3-3 doesn't look good on champion. Well, he's 1-3 in his last 4 too, right? Like it's not a nice look. I'm gonna say Jones is gonna be like negative 300, 350. You're gonna get champion at plus 250, plus 275, maybe even north of that. I'm gonna go Kenny Champion here. Greg Jones, pretty obvious style in terms of the way he fights. He just wants to take you down, grind, and has been really good at taking people's backs and choking them out. Had a pretty nice grappling match with Johnny Campbell. That was a Cage Titans I was actually at. There was like a little intermission grappling match with Johnny Cupcakes. And so Kenny Champion, though, has really sharp striking. He went in there against the guy who some used to consider a prospect in Aaron Hughes, and he absolutely pieced him up on the feet. For some reason he looks a lot quicker than he did even when he was like a much younger amateur. And I've like seen him fight live as an amateur in what I'm pretty sure was an old fairgrounds. He knocked out a kid who I used to train with, who is now a stuntman. I swear to God, this is all a real story.
Fantastic.
One of my old training partners, who is now a stuntman in Hollywood, got knocked out by Kenny Champion in a fairground in West Springfield, Massachusetts. So Kenny Champion, the kickboxing seems like it's getting better and better now. He's also a guy who's kind of just like done pretty well at surviving on the mat from time to time. So like if Jones that's like his dominant style, first of all, whatever this is on the feet, it's Champion's fight. And then as soon as it hits the ground, as long as he survives, I think he can wear down Jones. And, when he starts the next round standing, have his way again. So I'm going to take Kenny Champion, hopefully as a big dog here.
All right. Kenny Champion, the new OG champ, according to Gumby. All right. Before we move on, Kenny Champ, yes. He picked the Underdog, and we're transitioning again. Underdog Pick'em is one of the biggest menus for all sports. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boost and gimme pick'ems. NFL, college football, I just guess that's over with now. RIP college football for now, but they do have it when the season's on. College basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, and more. And you now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. Gumby, you have a play for the people.
Yeah, so this is getting in your ear on Tuesday. We probably dropped it in the morning if I know us, which means there's still plenty of time to get in on nighttime NBA action. And I'm gonna throw one at you that I think some people might not feel great about. I'm gonna take in his game against the Lakers. I'm gonna take Jordan Poole's higher than on his points. He has been getting a little frisky with the shots lately. He had 38 last game, and I'm trusting that trend possibly continues. And the Lakers are always game to bench a couple of their starters for funsies anyway. So give me Jordan Poole's higher than on his points.
All right. Take that and use our promo code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN.
And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive models in just seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have the Rhythm build a model for you. If the NFL playoffs have not been going your way, Rhythm will help you turn things around. With 3 games left, the 3 best of the season, Rhythm's AI-powered predictions for prop bets and game lines will set you up for success through the Super Bowl. And of course, they've got all the NFL picks, NFL props, college basketball, and the NBA. Rhythm literally has it all. As you know here, we love those higher thans on the Al Horford 3-pointers. So make sure you get down on that and get down on your free trial, 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
And we are to the main event already. And hopefully what you have found a fun episode. Cage Titans FC vacant featherweight championship. Gumby, why is it vacant?
I'm not positive about this, but I think Don Shainis vacated it when he left Cage Titans, was beat twice in the UFC, and then came back. And I think this is the first time they're granting it since then.
You know what that is? That's shameless, don't you think? Shameless behavior.
Shameless Don Shainis. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Shameless Don Shainis versus The phenom, Tom Pagliarulo, 5-minute runs if they need it, 145. Shainis, as we said, he's shameless. He's 15-7, 8 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted twice, 11-3 in Cage Titans, and the former champion. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight, and he's gone 3-4 over his last 7. Won his last fight via submission, 0-2 in the UFC, 2-0 in Bellator. Used to fight at 155. Pagliarulo, the phenom, is 7-2, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. This is his debut, stepping right into a title fight. He's won 4 of 5. Won his last fight via TKO. Used to fight at 155. 6 years younger, 6 inches taller, 9 inches reach over Shainis. So he's going to be a giant in this fight.
Yeah, and I think Shainis' UFC career, which by the way, dude got a tough batch of he fought, who was it, Jack Jenkins and somebody else who was a killer. He only got 2 fights and got turned away. But I think that UFC career here is probably going to keep these odds close. I still think he's going to be the dog against Tom Pags. My guess is Pags like -150, and I'm going to go Pagliarulo. I mean, first of all, you mentioned the reach. He fights long too, which I think is a problem here for Shainis. I think he's going to have a tough time getting in on the inside. I will also say this about Tom Pags, I think people sleep on how good of a wrestler he is. He's got a wrestling game that's pretty heavily trip based. And I don't know if he does that because of his length or if there's another reason why, maybe that's just what he grew up being good at. But his wrestling game is very trip based. And I think, Shainis had a little bit of trouble in the UFC with takedowns. I want to say Jack Jenkins took him down 4 or 5 times. And Jack Jenkins isn't a guy who shoots a bunch of takedowns anyway. So that opening is there clearly and people use it. And I kind of expect Tom Pags to use it a little bit here too. If Don Shainis sort of carelessly closes the distance, which he's going to have to do in order to get close enough to box him. Right. Tom Pags has also got some really nice knockouts via counters that I like, because with that length, he can make you miss and still be able to hit you. So yeah, I like Tom Pags here. I think, I'm hoping this comes in pretty close to even because of Shainis's UFC career. But yeah, I feel pretty good about Pags all the way up to -200 or a little even higher than that.
All right. Let's get your recap and then we'll see if Gummy's got plenty of fights to choose from for the lightning round. He's got Tom Pagliarulo in the main event. And then he likes Kenyon champion to become a champion. Congdon, Schlesinger, and Gudde. All right, later on, Zep and Boom Pow. Let her rip.
So the other name I forgot that Shainis fought was Sadiq Youssef. He fought Sadiq Youssef and Jack Jenkins and was released. That's brutal.
Sorry, kid, you didn't cut it.
Yeah, and so for my lightning round here, I'm gonna give you 2 plays. The only problem is the books typically do not offer odds on amateur fights. Is what I found. So I'm going to give you the only other professional fight first, and then 1 pick for an amateur fight. Ozzy Martin is the other pick. I sort of skirted over that fight on the main card here, mostly just because I think he's going to be a massive favorite. He's an 0-0 guy making his pro debut, but comes highly touted from being an amateur, having fought in Cage Titans as an amateur. They're giving him a 2-5 guy to start. It's kind of the recipe to get him to 1-0, kind of get him off on the right foot. So Ozzy Martin is the other one. And then, I was digging through the amateur card. Didn't see a lot of names that I'd seen before. A lot of 0-0 versus 0-0 fights. So I'll give you an 0-0 fight I do know about. And that's, I'm going to take Evan Hughes on the undercard. This is another homer pick for me because that happens on regional cards. I was training with Evan Hughes on Monday. I've been helping him get ready for this fight. He's a 125 pounder. So training with me is a weird time for him, but because I weigh almost 2 of him. But with that being said, he makes me use all of my very best jiu-jitsu stuff in order to catch him. I got to go leg locks and go platas and stuff like that in order to catch him because he's really technical on top. The kid works insanely hard. He's got crazy good cardio. So I think you're going to see some pretty good stuff out of him. So my 2 lightning round picks are going to be Ozzy Martin and Evan Hughes.
All right, this is the insider info episode, isn't it? Insider trading going on here.
Also, Evan is spelled great, by the way. It's one of those names that you would really enjoy how he spells it.
Let me see. Where is his name here? Oh, yeah. An H. EHVAN. It's not his fault. It's his parents' fault. EHVAN.
I'll let him know.
All right. Tell him it's your parents' fault. All right. Hopefully he listens and watches this. Good luck, Evan Hughes. All right, we're all set. You're all set. We're not done though. We're done for today. We'll be back tomorrow and the next day. LFA 200, right? So it's big enough that we're going to do 2 episodes for you.
3 title unification fights.
There you go.
3 interim champions fighting the actual champions.
So that is Wednesday, Thursday. So in the meantime, we'll be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Get in there, Evan Hughes. YouTube, obviously. Comments are open. MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. I think it's good for the what's that thing called? That never mind. The comments are good for the what, Gumby?
Algorithm.
Why can't it's like it's like we recorded 3 episodes and I can't come up with words anymore. Algorithm, yeah. So hit lots of comments in there for us. We are on the X, the Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's Gumby Vreeland. I'm Jeff Fox, writer there. And on Instagram, I have a Substack, or I don't have to talk. I can write. So usually I can come up with words better there. moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has another place that he talks called Top Turtle MMA Podcast. Tell the people who is on it this week.
Yeah, Cheyenne Bowers, who's one of those fighters unifying the titles over an LFA 200, and Joey Hart, who is also competing at UFC 200 fresh off Contender Series.
All right, so check that out. He said UFC 200. It is LFA 200, but that's
LFA. Okay. Yeah, LFA 200.
UFC 200 is ancient history. All right, I know Jim Miller fought on it though, at the very least, and it had a weird
Misha Tate versus Amanda Nunes
main event. Yeah, yeah, that was a snake bitten event for sure. And of course, one thing that's not snake bitten: sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Back tomorrow. Shameless Jeff Fox, the Phenom Gumby Vreeland. No, Scarecrow Gumby Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.